Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video. So y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, as you can see by the guy on the screen, this is the late Dick Gregory. And I've never had him on the channel. As in, I've never used any of his interviews. And I came across this clip I really want y'all to see. I think this will be a very interesting video, right? Now, this comes from the last video I did about Kyrie Jackson and those eerie NFL deaths. Someone in the comments said that I should look into Dick Gregory interviews because he talked about the NFL. This video is not going to be about the NFL, but it did make me go back and listen to some interviews that I've already heard before, because that one channel I think called The Real Black was really popular for putting out his interviews, right? Although a lot of Dick Gregory interviews are like disappearing off the internet, it's a little hard to find some of his, talks that he did with people who were interviewing him before he died. If y'all didn't know, Dick Gregory died back in 2017 from heart failure. And overall, I think a lot of people thought he was very controversial just by the way that he spoke, the things that he talked about. But I will admit that he definitely spoke a lot of truth. And I think this clip and this video that we're going to do is very interesting, y'all. He goes into a little bit of details about these Somali pirates back in 2009 that robbed the cargo ship. And y'all know the movie they did with Tom Hanks, Captain Phillips. It was very interesting what he had to say. So in the clip, he also goes into the Malaysian flight that just basically vanished, the MH370. And what he had to say about it, I thought was very interesting. And I'd never heard that specific clip from him. And it also made me dive into a little bit more about that story as well. And I think y'all are going to find it very interesting, what I found. Some of y'all may know about some of this stuff because it's, it's information that's out there if you look hard enough. But we're going to use this video to go ahead and get into it. I want y'all to check out this clip first. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to go into a little bit more detail about what he had to say. Check this out.
And all of them had a patch and a peg leg. And they show this movie here, and this brother ain't got no. They won't even let you, even when you acting like what they say the pirate was, But my problem with the pirate was that whole thing over there in Africa. I said, wait, something ain't right about this. Something is not right about this. What is it?
You're talking about Captain Phillips.
Yeah. But I'm talking about before.
Okay.
When it first hit.
Mm-hmm.
That little country them black folk came out of, they don't have 5 rowboats. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they gonna attack the mightiest navies in the world? Come on, y'all. Huh? Are you crazy? They ain't got 5 rowboats. Huh? Then all once they make a movie out of it, that's how they just keep putting it in. Then they make you think it's going to get a time. One of their top actors to do it's bullshit. Huh? One of them tankers had 100 million gallons of oil. So I'm on TV doing one of them TV shows, and I said, wait a minute. I can handle that for you. Give it to them. Ain't a black man on this planet that know how to sell 100 million gallons of oil that's been stolen. Huh? So then all at once, you sit and you look, and then it stopped. It stopped.
That's
right there.
All right, y'all, hold up. 1 second. Look, we got to break this clip into 2 because I don't want to get ahead and lose my train of thought when I have to wrap everything up, right? So check this out now. He was on point. He was kind of funny, too. He said, them Somalis ain't have 5 rowboats. Ain't no way they pulled up and hijacked a U.S., cargo ship, blah, blah, blah. Now, they didn't hijack a Navy ship. Maybe he was just confusing the part where supposedly Navy sharpshooters fired off and killed 3 of his homeboys. And y'all know the dude, he survived himself. I think his last name was Muse. This is him right here on the screen. We're going to say allegedly all this happened because none of us was there. We wasn't on the ocean. You know, all they gave us is pictures and so on and so on. We just gonna go with allegedly that happened. All right. Now, you know, he brought up 100 million gallons of oil, you know, saying that that's what they were trying to steal. You know, the movie and the story tells you that they were just trying to steal money, you know, chump change, something for them to come up on, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's what they give us, right? You may think of that as like, okay, you know, whatever with the whole Somali thing, you know, the Somali pirates, like whatever, it's not a big deal. But then when I found this article, it says, pirate who wanted to kill Americans gets 33 years for hijacking U.S. ship. Or as Dick Gregory would say, huh? A Somali pirate who attacked a U.S. flagship off the coast of Africa in 2009 was sentenced to more than 33 years in prison Wednesday by an emotional judge who said a long sentence was necessary to deter others and punish the only survivor among a group of pirates who appeared to relish their most depraved acts. Says she ordered Muse to serve 33 years and 9 months in prison, rejecting a plea for leniency by his defense lawyers. The tense standoff that ensued after Muse and his fellow pirates held the captain of Maersk, however you pronounce that, Alabama hostage after the April 8th, 2009 attack ended with Navy sharpshooters killed 3 of Muse's men. Look at the numerology in this. Why did she give him 33 years and 9 months? Why she ain't give him 32 years and 8 months? Actually, why she ain't give him just 33 years? Or just 32 years? Why is it 33 and 9? Notice they killed 3 of his men. 33 years and 9 months. This happened in 2009. You know, something like this, you wouldn't think like numerology would be attached to this, but once again, y'all, this is the media. This is that satanic media that puts out anything. You know, people will believe this stuff happened, and it happened thousands and thousands of miles away, way off in Africa, off the coast of wherever, in the ocean. No one filmed it, saw it, nothing. They made a movie with Tom Hanks. Boom. We got a story, an attack against the U.S., you know, cargo ship. Boom. We got another emotional story to sell in the news and movies and all this good stuff. That's why he brought up Tom Hanks, you know, their best actor to play in the movie, blah, blah, blah. So if you think about it, it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. We know what that number 33 represent. Why she give him 33 years? For something like that, you know, you think, oh, you get 50 years or something like that, 20 years. But instead, for the people that can see it, they put it right in your face. 33 years in prison. Think about that, y'all. Now, I won't keep this too long, but I wanted to jump in, run that down to y'all real quick so y'all can see, you know, where I'm coming from with that whole thing. Might have just been some bullshit. Look at him smiling. They done damn put on a show. Man, but for real, you know, we'll go ahead and jump into what I really want to get into in this video, y'all. Check this out.
Where that was coming from, there's one of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make Hitler look like Santa Claus. Garcia.
So
Wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. It had 4 scientists on it. Huh? 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas for Texas Instrument. All right. And the ones behind that plane was Texas Instrument, the government, and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we have, all the technology we have, the next generation of cars will come out, there'll be no driver. So when I was talking to this scientist about it, I said, well, that paddy wagons too. He said, yeah, why you ask that? I said, well, there's just more room to put riders. No, that's where we are. About 10 years ago, I'm with a scientist, and he's saying to me, he said, you know, the smart car, when it come out, there can be no more automobile fatalities. I said, why you want to mess with me, man? They been had that. Why you think airplanes don't run into one another? Huh? I used to do that when I was a child. I used to play with them little, what's those?
Magnets.
Magnets. Yeah. And if you don't put them right, they can't hit. That's all y'all done. And they want to come convince me that y'all breaking. You're not. Just been here. Okay? And so when you stop and think about, you know, the stuff. So we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. Okay? So if 1, 2, 3 of us and your brother, 4, we filed for patents. And then here's a friend of yours who's with us. So 5 of us filed for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all. So those 4 scientists, and the 5th person was the Carlyle group. They own them all now. The patent was granted 3 days after the plane was missing.
Wow.
Okay? And so what I'm saying is, this is the game, and if you can't follow that thread, then you don't see it.
That's crazy.
What were the patents for?
Huh?
What were the patents for?
Well, the patents was, you heard people talk about they're gonna one day inject you and can control you. Well, these guys come up with something, they don't have to inject you. They just put in this room and you come in and you smell it. That's what they were for.
Okay.
And that's why they killed them.
All right, y'all. Now, there's 2 very important things that he talked about that we got to go over to end this video off. One is the most mysterious U.S. naval base that he mentioned, Diego Garcia. Now, I know a lot of people have never heard of this, because if you don't look into this kind of stuff that has to do with the Navy or the military, you won't know anything about it. It's really not meant for the entire public to know about it. I think the documentary on Netflix about the Malaysian flight only mentioned this for about 5 seconds. And it's the reason why they didn't talk much about it. He also mentioned the Carlyle group, which supports the other theory of there being 4 scientists on the plane that had patents for either semiconductors or smart dust that was worth billions of dollars. So we're going to talk about the Carlyle group toward the end of this video as well. Check this out from this article that I found about Diego Garcia. Now, the rabbit hole goes pretty deep, and there's a lot of stuff going on that we will never know, but I think we can scratch the surface a bit with what we're about to find out. So it says, in the middle of the Indian Ocean lies a secretive United States military base, Diego Garcia. It is proven to be strategically vital and a launch pad for Middle East military operations. Located on a remote island outside of the U.S., this base occupies a territory that was formerly in possession of the British Empire. Over the years, this island that now doubles as a U.S. military base has been at the center of many high-profile conspiracy theories and is notorious for being shrouded in mystery. With only military personnel and island natives allowed to step foot on the island and the level of secrecy higher than Guantanamo Bay, it's no wonder that many have come to the question what really occurs inside Diego Garcia. Now, just to give you a little background, the initial discovery of the island has been disputed, but it's been suggested that it was first discovered in the early 16th century Portuguese voyage. The first map that officially named the island Diego Garcia was published in 1599. In 1965, the British Indian Ocean Territory was created, and Diego Garcia was solidified as an entity. 7 years later, the British and U.S. government signed an agreement related to the construction of a U.S. Naval Communications Station on the island, and it's intended to expand the U.S. Defense Communications Network. The United States built a permanent base in just 2 years, and by the 1980s, the island of Diego Garcia became a full-scale Navy support facility. Now, the base is also known as a footprint of freedom. This secretive naval base is still in operation today. The base is home to thousands of American troops, sophisticated radar, space tracking, and a communications facility. It's also used for long-range bomber operations, special forces staging, and a replenishment of both nuclear-powered submarines and naval surface forces. Now, this is something to note. The island of Diego Garcia is a British Indian Ocean territory near the tip of India. Now, over the years, Diego Garcia has been at the center of a few conspiracy theories. Diego Garcia has been home to several controversies since the 1960s, when the natives were forcibly removed from the island by the British government. Conspiracy theories began circulation again in 2008 after a Time magazine expose claimed that a secret war on terror prison existed on the island from 2002 to 2006. It was also speculated that the prison was used as a CIA black site where detainees were held and tortured. The U.S. military released a statement denying the claims, but several accounts from high-ranking personnel and sources claimed that prisoners of war were held and interrogated on the island. Now, the most popular and widely circulated conspiracy theory is that Diego Garcia is the possible location of the missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. For years, the base was believed to be the airplane's location because of its remote location and runway large enough to accommodate a commercial aircraft. This theory was deemed credible after it was discovered that the island landing strip was programmed into MH370's pilot's home flight simulator, y'all. The landing strip at the island was programmed into this flight's simulator. Honestly, y'all, the theories is over. If this is such a top secretive naval airbase, why would this regular Boeing airplane that's coming from Malaysia with not a single U.S. citizen on it, which was probably done on purpose, have this island, this secretive naval base, programmed into the simulator? The landing strip was programmed into the flight simulator, y'all. Some claim that the plane was shot down by the U.S. due to hackers taking control of the Boeing 77, as they are particularly vulnerable to hacking. So they claim that because the plane literally did a U-turn, or a 90-degree turn. It almost turned all the way around and went off of radar supposedly for a couple of minutes. Which, if this island has what they has, it's impossible. I'm pretty sure Russia saw this plane on the radar. Because didn't some kind of like rogue Ukrainian or 2 Russians shoot down a Malaysian flight 2 weeks after this? I think 2 weeks after this plane went missing, Russia shot down another Malaysian air flight. So Russia probably saw where the plane was going. Ain't no way the U.S. didn't see it. Another theory is that the U.S. shot down the plane and tried to cover it up. Many believe that the event of the plane turning off its communications, flying low, and changing course wouldn't have gone unnoticed by military intelligence. No, it wouldn't have. One of the most widespread and intriguing conspiracy theories, the truth behind what actually happened to the MH370 flight, still remains a mystery. And this island, this naval base, is restricted and requires area clearance by the U.S. Navy support. Only DoD civilian personnel, unaccompanied military, and authorized contractors are permitted access to the island. Couples aren't even allowed to be concurrently assigned to Diego Garcia. Now, think about this. Think about it. Now, we're going to get into the theory on the scientists having the patents and the Carlyle group. But there's also a chance that this never happened. There's also a chance that nobody was on that plane. Now, I'm not saying the U.S. government won't, sacrifice hundreds of people, because they will. But what is the cause of it? What's the reason? Was there something going on with Russia that we didn't know at the time? And I say that because they shot down the same model flight 2 weeks later, Russia. They shot it down. The 3 dudes that were blamed for it, they actually like got charged and sentenced for it. It was a Ukrainian guy and 2 other Russians. They launched a missile at it. But why did this happen? Was this some kind of CIA psychological psyop? You know, some crazy thing that they just like, you know, just with the Somalian thing, they just want to throw out into the public, get a bunch of distractions going that will find you, you know, that will make you chase your tail, you know, just to stir shit up, just to distract its citizens, damn near the entire world. Imagine how much money they paid the Malaysian government to actually cover this up. There's a very good possibility that no one was on the plane. This was all a psyop. There was probably nobody on it. But at the same time, we'll never know the truth to that. I'm just throwing out another theory. Because, you know, the whole thing about these scientists having certain patents that actually worked in the United States, that seems, you know, like a pretty good theory as well. Which is why I want to take the next part of this video. I want to show y'all a clip about who the Carlyle group is. You know, some of y'all may know who they are. Been in Washington running things, a part of the military-industrial complex for a long time. And you know, I don't even want to explain it. I'll show this clip that, you know, kind of gives a background on who they are. And because I just thought it was interesting that Dick Gregory brought this up, and it made me go down a rabbit hole I've never really, you know, went down before. But it was very interesting to bring some of this stuff to the video, because everything is connected. It's like everything from the Carlyle group to this plane going missing to Boeing. It's all defense stuff. It's all military. It's all government. It's all connected. All of it. You know, no matter what the theory is, it's all connected, or whatever the truth may be. But, you know, with that being said, y'all, we'll go ahead and jump into this clip. Then I'm going to come back and wrap this video up. Check this out.
Carlyle is a massive private equity firm, and what a private equity firm does is essentially raise money from wealthy individuals and companies and funds, and then turns and invests that money in a slightly higher risk form of investing than, say, the stock market or the bond market.
What they do is they buy the stock directly from the company. They take ownership shares and often controlling shares, but they do not buy it on the public market. And they often have control of the companies they buy, which means that they do not have to, because the companies are privately owned, privately controlled, they don't have to, they're not subject to the securities exchange laws in this country.
They'll purchase the company for a fraction of what it's really worth, and then turn the company around and sell it off for a huge profit. It's called the buyout practice.
The list of knowledgeable institutional investors in aerospace defense is a fairly short list. And I think it would be widely acknowledged that at the top of that list is the Carlyle Group, located here in Washington, D.C., and considered by most people to be the premier investor in aerospace defense over quite a number of years.
What is new about Carlyle is the size and the dimension of their success. My understanding is they are now the 11th or 12th largest defense contractor, a multi-billion-dollar annual enterprise with an almost obscenely high profit margin.
So please welcome Frank Finelli. Frank?
Well, super. It's great to be here back at the conferences that are put on here. As Jerry mentioned, the Carlyle Group, we're headquartered here in Washington, D.C. It's a global private equity merchant bank, and we probably do more leveraged buyout and venture capital investing related to defense and dual-use technology than any other private equity firm in the world. The defense industry valuation will grow primarily from 2 factors. One is that either the size of the defense pie gets bigger, as it has been over several years, or the slice of the pie related to that particular part of the defense industry gets bigger.
The Carlyle Group plays in industries and in an area that are heavily influenced by politics. And in order to do that effectively, they hire some of the best-known politicians from all over the world.
The first thing is, where do the dollars go? What is the defense budget and what does it look like? This is the way it's commonly captured by the DoD controller. And there's roughly $380 billion in the FY04 defense budget that was recently submitted.
They hire defense experts like Frank Carlucci or Frank Finelli. They hire politicians like George Bush Sr. or James Baker III, and they hire businessmen, a number of MBAs, Ivy League MBAs, very, very bright business people from around the world.
Most people think about this topic as simply the Iron Triangle, the relationship of the Pentagon with Congress and industry. So I'm a practitioner who has been on all three sides of this triangle over the last 25 years or so, and it really has been a lot of fun.
The Iron Triangle is in some ways a uniquely American phenomenon. It's the confluence of the military, big business, and politics. And the combination of these three things is something that a number of U.S. presidents in the past have warned against. In particular, Dwight Eisenhower was very upfront about warning against the possibility of creating a military-industrial complex. By that he means a group of a business built around defense and military that becomes so large and so powerful that it's actually able to influence the politics of war. Nothing sort of personifies that euphemism of the Iron Triangle better than the Carlyle Group. They have it all in under one roof.
All right, y'all. So it's rumored that the Bush family, the Saudi royals, and even Osama bin Laden's family were all a part of the inner circle. And, those are just some of the high-profile figures who have played a role in a very powerful and influential firm that has been in Washington, I'd say since the late 90s or early 2000s, ever since 9/11 and the invasion of Iraq happened. Now, y'all heard them say at the end, the Iron Triangle. The Iron Triangle is basically the government and the military, and that is what they operate within. They basically have some of the most powerful men in America and around the world. And I thought it was interesting just to throw that clip in there, because I've never really heard anyone mention the Carlyle Group when it comes to, I guess if you want to call it conspiracies or, someone talking about truth, because, a lot of the times in the videos we do about the industry and all that good stuff, we don't land on these kind of topics that involve these kind of people. But, I'm not surprised that some of the stuff that they are behind and the people that are rumored to be a part of their circles. And if we want to go with the theory that that plane held 4 scientists who, had some kind of patent that was worth billions of dollars, then the Carlyle Group may have well been that fifth entity that took the patents. Now, I didn't find anything that said those patents passed 3 days after the plane, supposedly went missing, but, I wouldn't doubt it. And I also didn't find any direct proof that it was about smart dust or nanotechnology. The most stuff I found was that it was about semiconductors. So I couldn't confirm which one to be true. But when it surrounds something that has so much mystery to it, none of the stuff that, we think we're going to find is probably going to be the definitive truth. Like, even if it was about smart dust or something like that, I don't think they would obviously come out and say, yeah, patents were created for this, for that, because at the end of the day, I think 10 years ago they were saying that technology was 50 years ahead. Not mistaken, just recently they came out, as in the government, military, whatever, that technology has now reached a point where it's 200 years ahead of where we are now. So, you know, maybe just a decade ago, and this is not accurate, I'm just saying maybe just a decade ago, we were 50 years ahead of ourselves, supposedly, of, you know, the technology that we have, that a lot of it isn't released to the public. Now they are saying they are 200 years ahead. You know, so we couldn't imagine it, y'all. Basically, there's stuff out there in this world, you know, we couldn't even think of. These people are so far ahead with secrets, technology, AI, and they're just giving us crumbs right now. And I think we'll end this video leaving that right there to be thought about. Because I don't think we can even scratch the surface with the things that are really out there. You got to think about what these kind of bases are for. You know, and other places in the world where top secret technology and research and all kind of stuff is going on, which is why I have the mind that I do, you know, especially the open mind that I have, and I don't doubt anything to be true when it comes to the world that we live in. So yeah, man, you know, I really hope y'all enjoyed that video. You know, very good topic, very different from a lot of the things we usually cover. Y'all know me, you know, I'm not afraid to touch on anything. You know, even if I got to do a little bit of extra research, you know, I love to get into stuff I never really talked about, or sometimes things that I don't even know. You know, that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn from each other, you know, spread the word, spread the truth, dig as much as we can, you know. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. You know, anything relating to this topic, y'all let me know if y'all want to hear anything different in the future. I do got another video that I want to do from Dick Gregory. And it's more like industry related, but I'll be sure to, like, you know, search for other things that, you know, I guess kind of more sophisticated topics. So yeah, man, with that being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. I'm out.